to them. Fingertip to painting them. She sways her way up to him. Says, buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is James, and today we're going to talk about, the whole Julian Assange thing. That seems to be the biggest story. And I found this interesting. This is like the tale of a flailing ship with strong currents, and it's just made out of cardboard and toilet paper. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box. The website is in the intro to this video. Please donate. Okay, so Ben Shapiro. He weighed in on the whole Julian Assange thing. And this might be the markings of a type of downfall. Because of, I don't know how fans didn't see this before of how establishment he is. But the character he plays, at the very least, on the surface, has been a neocon for a long while. And I think fans are starting to realize that. It took him some time, but
yeah.
This might have been the story that snapped him out of it. But he destroyed 17-year-olds.
No,
he destroyed 18-year-olds.
No, not
he destroyed
really.
college kids.
No, he didn't. Not really. No. Daddy wrote articles about him, though.
Yeah. This might even break Ben Shapiro himself. Might break his own spell about himself. We're going to look, you can even look at some of the physical reactions. In my opinion, I may be making it up, but that's what it looks like to me. So here we go. Here's Ben Shapiro's opinion on the whole Julian Assange thing.
Ben. Get calm, stop stressing, calm.com/Ben. Okay, well, the big breaking news this morning that has upended our entire show schedule is that Julian Assange has now been arrested. And this, of course, is a very big deal because Julian Assange was hiding out in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years. For 7 years. And finally, he was pulled out of the embassy. His his immunity was removed from him, and they dragged him out of the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Now, the reality is that he had been a tool of the Russians for a very long time, according to the best intelligence sources.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
What? He's already lying right from the jump.
Yeah.
He's a what? What did he say?
A Russian tool?
A Russian tool, according to the best intelligence agencies we have. So then Trump colluded with Russia too then. He had to have, because that's coming from the best intelligence agencies.
If only I had a flute, and on the flute it said neocon every time I hear some dumb shit like this, just neocon.
Yeah. This guy will play the role of what his handlers tell him to say.
Yeah.
He'll just say it really fast.
According to the UK Daily Mail, Julian Assange is facing up to 12 months in a British prison after he was found guilty of skipping bail to avoid being extradited to Sweden in 2012 to face allegations of rape and sexual assault. He finally appeared in court today after he was sensationally expelled from the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he has been claiming political refuge for the past 7 years. He is not a victim in any way. The guy was legitimately under indictment, and then he skipped bail. And now he has been arrested. He's no more a victim than Roman Polanski would be a victim if he were arrested for having skipped out on bail. A judge described...
Yeah, but you have to consider the circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Polanski's escaping having sex with like a 13-year-old, giving her like drugs and alcohol and then having sex with her.
Mm.
And he's escaping. You can call it a quote-unquote rape case, but really it's you spilled our secrets. You're fucked now.
Yeah.
You're done for.
Mm.
So those are two completely different scenarios if you look at it honestly. But Ben probably won't.
Julian Assange's defense is laughable, and his behavior is that of a narcissist who cannot get beyond his own selfish interests. As the court heard, he tried to fight off arresting officers. That didn't go great for him. Ecuador's decision to revoke his political asylum this morning saw a diplomatic falling of dominoes, with British police then dragging him away in handcuffs to face charges related to the bail conditions he defied in 2012. In a sensational turn of events, he was then also charged by the United States government with conspiring with American whistleblower Chelsea Manning, it would have been Bradley Manning at the time, to break a password to a classified government computer in 2010. So they are charging Assange in the United States, not for the publication of material, which could theoretically be a First Amendment issue, but instead they are charging him for the violation of hacking statutes. So he hasn't violated the Espionage Act, according to the DOJ. He has violated hacking statutes. According to documents unsealed today, the
Now you're saying he hasn't violated the Espionage Act. As far as what the courts are saying, but you just called him a Russian agent, right? Basically called him a Russian agent, and that's based off the greatest minds in America, the intelligence community. So he can't even be like. Of course, he gives them props. The greatest, the best resource possible is the intelligence community. They never lie to us, even though this guy's in trouble for exposing that they lie.
Yeah.
Freak, man. And his fans are letting him know it, by the way.
charge relates to Assange's role in one of the largest compromises of classified information in U.S. history. He faces a maximum jail term of 5 years. He also faces a court hearing on May 2nd relating to his possible extradition to the United States to contest the computer hacking charges. The court heard today how Assange resisted arrest and tried to barge past officers in an attempt to return to his private room within the embassy when they introduced themselves about 10 a.m., telling them this is unlawful. Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno dramatically withdrew Assange's asylum status this morning, blaming his discourteous and aggressive behavior in continuing to work with WikiLeaks while housed at the embassy.
Sounds like an excuse. They told WikiLeaks first that they're gonna kick him out any day, within any hour or any day soon. They're gonna kick Assange out. The Ecuadorian government's like, no, we're not. We're totally not doing that.
Yeah, and look what they did. And
then they did it anyways. A lot of people think it's connected to some papers that were leaked by WikiLeaks, the INA papers, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I'm just reading the news. What do you want from me?
And it's amazing how everybody's position on WikiLeaks absolutely reversed over the past 6 years, 7 years.
Not everybody.
I don't know who the fuck you're looking at, man.
The corporate Democrats, corporate Republicans, which you are one of. You are a corporate Republican. I'd go as far as to say neocon.
I think he's a neocon.
So neocon and neoliberals may have changed faces. Well, actually, neoliberals and corporate Democrats. Neoliberals have always hated WikiLeaks. Neocons have always hated WikiLeaks. It's the faces on the TV screen that pretend they're changing teams. They're pretending so they can, get one side elected or the other to keep up the shill game of, see, we're different than them. We like WikiLeaks now. Or we hate WikiLeaks now. I think normal people have always liked them. Normal motherfuckers have always liked WikiLeaks. And corporate warmongering douchebags have always hated WikiLeaks. Everything else is just, all the TV people, personalities are just, faces to amuse the population.
I think this dude's been a neocon for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Very long time. So I'm not surprised,
Yeah, he's been fully indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Let's continue. Before I get started, let me just, there you go. Now let's get back to it.
9 years.
You dislike
Originally, it was the right looking at WikiLeaks as an
I've never
evil
done
Russian
that
front
before.
organization
I've never
dedicated to
disliked
spilling
it.
American military secrets and putting American lives in danger. That assessment, I think, was correct. And then, after WikiLeaks started dumping out DNC material, started dumping out John Podesta email, then you heard people on the right, some people, we won't name names, suggesting that WikiLeaks was suddenly good. WikiLeaks was suddenly people who were worth listening to. They had valuable information to provide. Well, a couple things can be true at once. One, some of the information that you provide in document dumps is probably valuable information. Two, you can also be a tool of the Russians and one of the world's worst humans, and that apparently is Julian Assange.
What the fuck, man? Coward, you sniveling little lizard.
After hearing this a second time, he shouldn't just lose some fans. He should lose damn near all of them.
Yeah.
That's one of the, it's like, what?
One of the world's worst humans. He said that.
Yeah, good.
What the fuck? If this isn't damning as far as like where he stands as far as more on the moral spectrum, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you really have to be some sort of loyal fan. Like fandom. I mean fan of ideas.
Yeah.
To really be blind not to see like who this guy really fucking is.
Yeah. 90% of your fans spent 2.5 to 3 years fighting the whole Russiagate story when it comes to Trump. And you turn around and you place it on the Julian Assange instead. It's like, this makes me think that those thumbs up that he has are paid bots or something, that he's ratioing his own shit. He pays someone to give his videos thumbs up.
Dude, when I was watching this,
or not him personally, but
hey,
I'm thinking
it's called the Ben Shapiro Show.
Maybe his team or his family. He knows he's fucking.
Daddy writes articles about him, you know, positive articles back in the day, right? So every time I refresh this fucking page, you know, the likes would go up, but the dislikes would go up. Every time I saw it, the dislikes would go up, the likes would substantially go up even higher.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
And by the way, I did go through the comments. It took me.
I saw maybe as far as could be 70 to 1 as far as negative comments as opposed to positive.
Well, I was reading for 15 minutes straight, right? These are short sentence comments. Mm-hmm. Some are small paragraphs. 15 minutes of reading, not one positive one. And then I finally found one, and it wasn't even praising Ben. It was just shitting on Ilhan Omar. So it's like,
yeah.
Let's continue. There's a reason for that. Here it is.
The arrest came 24 hours after WikiLeaks accused Ecuador of an extensive spying operation, adding that it assumed intel had been handed over to the administration of Donald Trump. So Assange basically bit the hand that fed him, and Ecuador was like, well, guess what? You have diplomatic immunity because you're in our embassy? Well, here's what we can do. And they just removed his diplomatic immunity.
This guy's a little shit.
That sounds more like integrity. That might be integrity when you're like, you can be giving me billions of dollars, but if I find out you're a fuckhead, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's make-believe scenario. Let's continue. I think Ben's starting to shake now.
President Moreno accused Assange of violating the terms of his asylum by interfering in internal affairs of other states, as well as blocking security cameras and mistreating guards. The actual indictment that came down from the DOJ alleges that in March of 2010, Assange engaged in a conspiracy with Chelsea Manning, a former intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army, to assist Manning in cracking a password stored on U.S. Department of Defense computers connected to the secret Internet Protocol Network, a U.S. government network used for classified documents and communications. Apparently, Manning, who had access to the computers in connection with her duties as an intelligence analyst, Manning was a man at the time. They should really say his duties as an intelligence analyst, since we are speaking historically.
You're not funny.
Nonsensical distraction. Who gives a fuck?
Stupid, silly, small man.
It's here to keep the college SJW haters along with the ride. It's like, yeah, Ben, 1 point for Ben.
And if we are speaking biologically, is still a man. In any case, Manning was using the computers to download classified records to transmit to WikiLeaks. Cracking the password would have allowed Manning to log onto the computers under a username that did not belong to her, says the DOJ. Such a deceptive measure would have made it more difficult for investigators to determine the source of the illegal disclosures. That is not a journalistic tactic, that is a hacking tactic. A journalistic tactic is somebody comes to you with material and then you print it. A hacking tactic is somebody says, if you help me hack the U.S. Department of Defense, then you can have the resulting material. That's a crime. During the conspiracy, Manning and Assange engaged in real-time discussions regarding Manning's transmission of classified records to Assange. The discussions also reflect Assange actively encouraging Manning to provide more information. During an exchange, Manning told Assange that, quote, "After this upload, that's all I really have left," to which Assange replied, "Curious eyes that never run dry in my experience." Assange is now being charged with conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. He's presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, says the DOJ. If convicted, he faces a max of 5 years in prison.
Yeah, right. I doubt that. I doubt it's 5 years maximum. But,
if anything, like if it is 5 years, they'll just throw him back in for something else.
I think they're going to sort of trump the charges, just add shit on as time goes by.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was I going to say?
Little piece of shit. Like if you don't, if you still support this guy after he says this shit, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
Just look at it as a normal person with a conscience. What is he exposing when let's say he did. Let's say he's a supercomputer whiz kid and he just hacked into the thing. What is it?
Who?
Assange. Let's say he just hacked into whatever. Mm-hmm. He hacked into the military database.
Was it wrong?
What did he expose?
He exposed that the government is corrupt. And they're hiding shit that you don't want to see as far as it's going to make them look bad.
I'm pretty sure he exposed war crimes.
Yeah, war crimes.
That sounds like a helpful person.
And publishing stuff that's going to make governments of, you know, not only the U.S. government, but as well as other governments in the world, you know.
Well, I'm just going off the things he's charged for, right? And that's the Bradley Manning, Chelsea Manning documents.
Yeah.
So, he exposed war crimes. Throw him in jail forever. That's basically Ben's stance. Somewhere deep down, he knows it.
Now, this comes shortly after Chelsea Manning was arrested after refusing to testify in a WikiLeaks case just last month. According to Business Insider, Manning was arrested this would have been March 9th after she reportedly refused to testify in front of a Virginia grand jury about her interactions with WikiLeaks and its founder, Julian Assange. "I found you in contempt," Judge Cloud M. Hilton told Manning in a public ruling. He said Manning will be jailed either until you purge yourself or the end of the life of the grand jury. Manning said in a statement that she'd been summoned to appear before a secret grand jury on Wednesday. In response to each question, she said she answered, "I object to that question and refuse to answer on the grounds that it is violation of my First, Fourth, and Sixth Amendment and other statutory rights." Well, that is not a reason to not testify in front of a grand jury. You have to plead the Fifth. But Chelsea Manning has already been released from prison after being found guilty on charges like these. So there was no issue of being prosecuted. There was double jeopardy forbids that. So this was just Chelsea Manning refusing to testify. All of the substantive questions pertaining to my disclosures of information to the public in 2010, answers I provided in extensive testimony during my court-martial in 2013. Her statement continued. In January, WikiLeaks said federal prosecutors were working to get witnesses to testify against Assange in secret criminal proceedings being conducted by the Trump administration.
So couldn't they just do that with Julian Assange, right? Chelsea Manning was guilty of a crime, got pardoned, then she just refused to testify. And they're like, "Oh, we can put you in prison. We can hold you in contempt and keep you in prison." I don't know the legal standards of things, but if they can just continuously do that, wouldn't that just keep anyone in jail?
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
Like, you're still not testifying. You got to stay here.
Legalese.
Yeah.
Manning told reporters, "I don't believe in the grand jury process. I don't believe in the secrecy of this." Manning now believes in jail because that's where Chelsea Manning currently is. So just as a reminder...
Wow, Ben.
See that little sneaky, creepy joke.
Dude, this guy is such a fuck. Like, it's unreal. It's like, if anybody can't understand this dude's, like, as far as the moral spectrum.
Yeah, some of the creepiest shit you've ever heard, and I think it's almost like it's scripted.
And he gets away with it.
Yeah.
It's like no one, like, you know.
Maybe he won't now, but...
Wait, I forgot, you know. There'll be debate probably about foreskin, you know. That's a big one. Instead of just going right after it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, let's debate about morality.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
Ben Shapiro's upset that Chelsea Manning didn't want to have a secret jury, like a secret grand jury.
A secret grand jury.
Yeah.
You know what fucking happens there?
Yeah.
Probably a ton of shit that you couldn't get away with as far as being at public, you know?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's some scary
Well, I guess
shit.
you gotta go to jail now, I guess.
Here, does this sound good? All right, politician A and politician B, you know? Instead of being tried, having a jury, of the public, we will choose the jury. Not only that, it'll be in private.
Yeah.
And you can each present your case at the same time to us, or to me, the judge. Behind closed doors. Yeah, that's kind of bothering me a little bit, you know? Just a tad bit. You know, some red flags here and there, you know?
If she disagrees with a private, secret grand jury, then I guess she agrees with jail.
God, man, it's been a while since I really wanted to slap someone.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't.
Reminder, everybody has been wrong about WikiLeaks at least once. And when I say everybody, I don't mean everybody. Some of us were saying that WikiLeaks was a terrible organization consistently for years.
Who? You?
Yeah, probably him, actually.
He's an idiot.
Just this story needed to happen in order to expose him. Just like there's other stories that you won't even...
Yeah, I know.
We're going to war with Iran. He'd be like, yep, right thing to do. They're terrorists. See, under official orders here, the Iranian government and their military, they're terrorists, so they want to take out Israel, so World War III is okay.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Man.
This is one of those type events. It's not as drastic as that, but it's one of those events where it's like, you're just a neocon, aren't you?
This dude is a blatant neocon.
His fans don't see it because he debates college kids in SJWs and makes them look silly.
You put him in the year 2003. Watch him follow.
He already agrees with the Iraq
No, I
war.
meant watch him follow. As far as like shit that was being said back then.
Oh yeah.
Just straight up.
He already believes in going. We should have went to Iraq. He just doesn't like how he did it. He would have did it a different way.
Oh, different. Yeah.
But in the middle of the 2016 election, suddenly Julian Assange began appearing on mainline conservative television shows, talking about why it was important to release all the Hillary Clinton documentation. Suddenly Assange went from being a figure of scorn and disgrace to being a figure who ought to be lauded as a figure of truth-telling. If your view of Julian Assange changed because of the nature of the material that he was revealing, as opposed to the methods used in gathering that material or the lives put in danger because of the release of that material, then you are a hack. Okay, you are a hack. If you went from...
You're a fucking hack. It's fucking obvious you're a hack.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Assange is a villain to Julian Assange is a hero, and now back to Julian Assange as a villain, the whiplash must be just incredible for you. And if you went from Julian Assange as a hero to Julian Assange as a villain, that whiplash must hurt pretty hard, pretty well too. Because the fact is, we've known what we've needed to know about Julian Assange on a root level since 2011. Commentary Magazine had a piece at that time by Jonathan Foreman talking about what exactly Julian Assange had done, and it's worth reading.
Yes, this is a man scrambling. This is a grown man with a little boy inside, and they're both scrambling right now. Usually it doesn't reach the surface this bad, but I think it's up there.
Look at this shit. Ready? Since you played this video, the likes are at 792, but the dislikes are at 812.
And counting.
So, I mean...
Wait till it spreads.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
As late as 2008, WikiLeaks was insisting on its website that it was completely neutral, a conduit for information, and that it would crowdsource its analysis in the way that Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia written entirely by unpaid volunteers, allows public contributions to its entry, says commentary. There was little reason to suspect that WikiLeaks had a special animus against the United States. In the first 3 years of its existence, WikiLeaks, received and published hitherto secret documents concerning a wide variety of entities around the world. These included a confidential investigation by Kroll Associates of official corruption in Kenya, UN documents concerning sexual abuse by the organization's peacekeepers in the Congo, the tax returns of movie star turned tax refuse Nick Wesley Snipes, and private emails stolen from Sarah Palin and Holocaust denier David Irving. Bigger fish included the communications of a Swiss bank allegedly engaged in money laundering and secret materials from the Church of Scientology. During those 3 years, WikiLeaks also published a manual of standard operating procedures of the Gitmo detention facility. That release was intended to be embarrassing, but it had arguably been a benefit to the U.S. military because it showed that our procedures were pretty good. But that...
Come on, guys. Now, there's people in his comment section complaining about the Assange stuff, but like that didn't spark something.
Like, I've watched that video, the Chelsea Manning.
Yeah.
The video. What was the title? What was it?
It's like collateral damage or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Collateral murder or something like that.
Something like that. I watched. I'm like, hey guys, you ever seen that video? Check this out. That's who he's defending.
Yeah. Why are you personally attacking the U.S.? Why? Fucking.
It's unreal. It's like what the fuck, man? I need something to shoot. They did nothing wrong.
Yeah. You put those soldiers' lives in danger, and how about the people they're firing at?
Not only that, it's like why are they
How about
there?
the cameramen
Why are they there?
they're firing at?
Why are they there?
Yeah. They're there for the right reasons, according to Ben.
Yeah, okay.
That was before collateral murder. In 2010, the focus of WikiLeaks turned directly and exclusively to the U.S. government and its conduct since September 11th. In the summer, it released the so-called war logs, nearly 500,000 internal Defense Department documents concerning the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Maybe Americans like, whoa, what is this? I'm going to step up and I'm going to be like a whistleblower and I'm going to leak shit to WikiLeaks and then they're going to print it for me. Mm-hmm. They're going to make sure what I risked my life and my freedom for, all that risk, I'm going to give it to them because they're known to get the information out there.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that. I don't know. Unless WikiLeaks has information that they're just sitting on the whole time, 24/7. Like, is this about Australia? Keep that hidden here. We got this U.S. thing. We'll put that out. I don't know about that.
That was followed in November by the publication of the State Department cables. Indeed, so focused was WikiLeaks on these caches, it became all but impossible to access earlier postings on other subjects or even submit new ones. This may well be because mega leaks, as Assange calls them, naturally take precedence over smaller ones. On the other hand, it is possible that America was Assange's target all along, and that his
So it was harder to find his other leaks, the other leaks that they had, because these ones about the U.S. were so massive and people were so like hyper-focused on it. I don't know, they're like the biggest superpower in the world. Maybe that's why people focus on that and the other stuff got lost in the shuffle. Mm-hmm. What the freak, man?
Just don't know sometimes.
Freak, listen to the words he actually says.
Organization's earlier, more wide-ranging activities were designed to build its credibility and create a false impression of neutrality and objectivity before it went to war with the United States government.
This is straight up from the Pentagon, probably. These are straight up, someone handed him a piece of paper right before he started his show and said, you're going to say this.
You know he wears makeup, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just pour water on his face, it says Pentagon approved on his forehead. Like, you're good to go.
The closer one examines Assange's various pronouncements, the more it looks like someone who might engage in dissimulation in order to mask a secret agenda. The circumstantial evidence for this includes the disillusionment and departure of key WikiLeaks team members in September of 2010.
This is the portion where I think he's reading something else. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't read this the way we have it written, you're going to die.
I don't know about that.
That's when he's like,
So what exactly did Assange do? Well, he ignored the Department of Defense's request, the U.S. government's request, the State Department's request to redact material that could put Americans in direct path of harm. I'll give you some more information about the entire Assange debacle in just 1 second. First, let's talk about something fun. With 23andMe's Health and Ancestry Service Kit, you can explore 125 plus personal Shapiro. Alrighty, so a little more information on WikiLeaks and Julian Assange.
I'm happy you can skip those.
So Assange insisted on publishing the Afghan war logs without redacting names and other personal details to protect the lives of those mentioned in them, even after 5 major human rights organizations pled with him to do so in a joint email. His response to this was to demand that the 5 organizations assist in the task of redaction. He also said that WikiLeaks would need $700,000 to go through remaining unpublished documents. By that point, 77,000 out of 92,000 documents had already been released, and despite Assange's initial claims that the names of Afghan informants had been redacted, newspapers like the New York Times found that this was often not the case. When Amnesty International suggested a conference call to discuss collaboration, Assange said, "I'm very busy. I have no time to deal with people who prefer to do nothing but cover their asses." Assange would not consider delaying publication. The same was true of the subsequent much bigger release of Iraq war documents in the autumn. It was that decision that prompted a major internal revolt at WikiLeaks. According to reports in Wired, the organization's German spokesman, Daniel Darmstadt-Berg, confronted Assange about his autocratic and secretive behavior, and Assange responded by accusing Darmstadt-Berg of leaking information within WikiLeaks to a columnist for Newsweek. Convinced that Darmstadt-Berg was the source of the leaks to Newsweek, Assange says, quote, "I am investigating a serious security breach. Are you refusing to answer?" Darmstadt-Berg replied that everyone in the organization was concerned about the news that Assange might be charged with rape in Sweden. He also pressed Assange about the Iraq documents, at one point exclaiming, "You are not anyone's king or god." Assange then forced him to resign, effectively speaking. All of this...
Okay. I mean, yeah. Call them out for that. Cool. Those are character assessments as opposed to, are these immoral actions telling the world about war crimes from a country that's notorious for war crimes? I mean, come on.
This is a disaster area, and has been a disaster area for the United States for a very long time. As this Commentary magazine article points out, the idea that Assange is engaged in a campaign against the United States is supported by a 2008 leak that had little or no justification on the grounds of transparency in the interest of the public. A classified 2004 report that included details of the workings of the U.S. Army's warlock system for jamming the homemade bombs called IEDs set off by cell phone or radio transmitter. The report concerned the problematic way the jammers interfered with regular military communications. But its publication ensured that anyone anywhere in the world who wanted to figure out how to defeat the warlock now had the means to do so. WikiLeaks defenders said that there was no reason not to publish, but the State Department and the Defense Department said, "Why are you publishing all of this stuff? It's a mistake, and it's going to put people in danger." His fans have suggested that Assange was, in fact, doing a world of good by releasing all of this material, but Assange, in fact, was doing tremendous damage to innocent people by releasing all of these documents. He was allowing persecution of people who were coordinating with the United States government to fight the Taliban in Afghanistan. That's some pretty bad stuff.
The persecution versus here's camera footage of cameramen being shot. And then when someone drives by to pick them up and help them, they get shot too.
They get like blown up.
And they say in the video, shouldn't have brought their kids with them.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Come on, Ben. You could do better.
Give me something to shoot.
Maybe not, but you could do better.
Give me something to shoot.
Yeah. Come on.
It's like,
I've been saying that a lot today.
You're defending them, man.
I've been saying that a lot today. Come on. Because it's so on its face obvious. It's like, it's right there. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
That's some pretty bad stuff. I mean, even The Nation came out against him in 2016, talking about how he was undermining dissenters in foreign countries. It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible stuff. Julian Assange and WikiLeaks have engaged in really, really bad activity, so it is a good thing for the world that Assange was arrested today.
Whoa,
it's a good thing. Boss,
he bows down to them. Remember this.
Look how confident Ben is when he says this.
Look at him shaking.
Look how confident he is.
Stuff. Julian Assange and WikiLeaks have engaged in really, really bad activity, so it is a good thing for the world that Assange was arrested today. It's a good thing.
The dude is like trembling.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
that's it from us. And I just want to say, I know I was like sort of joking with the conspiracy, like the Pentagon sent him an email as he's doing his show, and it's like, if you fuck our script up, you're dead. Mm-hmm. I know I'm joking, but at the same time, I don't know. To me, he looks visibly shaken.
oh.
I don't know what that's from. Maybe he's cold. Maybe he's nervous. I don't know. But, I hope it's an honest This is what I hope it is. I hope it's a honest reaction. Like, fuck, this is bullshit. Yet I'm saying it anyways, and my body's shaking because of that. I'd be like, Ben, come on, come over here. Let's work on this.
I don't know what to say really. As far as hey, you feel bad about it? Good.
Oh, you want to seek real redemption. That's all I was looking for. Come on.
Say goodbye to your money, your public image, everything, all this. Say goodbye.
Well, if you're staring down redemption, that'll be easy. What'll really suck is, fuck, I have to realize I did all this other shit.
Yeah, I know. All right,
that's it from us. I'm sure there's more. Go check it out, I guess. But it seems like neocon, Pentagon talking points.
Mm-hmm.
So, please subscribe if you like. Comment, agree, disagree, whatever. Let us know. Please donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box down there. Right down there. No freaky. After you donate, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.